Welcome to the Sales Lab.
You mentioned the analysts and the people that are, I guess, doing the actual research and all of that. To what extent does the salesperson need to be the expert versus, knowing enough to navigate, but really they're connecting dots and bringing in the analysts into the conversation as needed?
I'm smiling as you're asking me this because for the first 7 years of my career in technical sales, and I was pretty good, right? Or I got pretty good. My boss wrote, needs to be more technical for my annual review every single year. Anyone who works for me, they will tell you, what do I write on their annual review? Needs to be more technical. There's a reason for that. Why? There's a lot of conversations that I'm going to have when I don't have an analyst or in my former life, an applications engineer on the phone. In fact, most of those conversations I'm not going, or I should. I need to be able to call up a customer and not just talk about how my sports team did or who won the golf tournament or how hot it was in Austin, Texas this week. Those are all cool things, kind of. But I really need to be able to talk at a technical level that's worth their time to take that phone call. Do I need to be an expert at it? No, I don't. It's a tricky one, right? I'm never going to be as smart as some of the analysts say, nor should I. That's their role. But I will tell you something else. The role of a technical salesperson has changed a lot in the last 10, 15, 20 years. And you need to be way more technical than you needed to back then. And now here's the thing. Once you get it on sort of that flywheel of the technology, now it's accretive, right? I'm not starting at zero. I spend 2 hours every single week reading our own research that we publish at ABI. Why? So I can be conversant in it when I'm having a conversation where I can talk at a high level to my customers. Hey, here's what's going on in the market. And I can tie it back to something we did or something that's going on. And then you go to the next step. Now I'm going to take that and tie it into their strategic objectives. Maybe their CEO just said, hey, we're really focused on X this year. Hey, I noticed your CEO said that. We're doing this thing over here. I think it would really tie in well with what you guys are doing going forward. And here's why. And we'd like to talk more. I need to be able, I tell my team this, you've got to be able to take that first meeting by yourself without anyone else on the call. And it's really daunting sometimes. Sometimes even now, having done this for a long time, I will have a meeting about a topic that I know reasonably well, but I know there's going to be some really, really sharp guys and ladies on that call. I spent an hour prepping the night before, so I know what I'm talking about, right? And so again, there's just no substitution. You got to put in the effort. Now, if you've done all that and they still get into something you don't know, it's okay to say, I'll find out. That's okay, because you put in the effort and they can tell. But then you have to go find out, right? That's the other part of it.
Yeah. Well, and I guess, if the salesperson doesn't have at least a relative level of expertise, then what are we using a likely higher paid salesperson for this job anyway? If they're just literally there to take notes, we can hire a customer service person, right?
Well, we don't even need that, right? We have AI that does that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And by the way, when I started in my career, a lot of the meetings I took notes, literally took notes. And that job is gone. You have got to bring something to the table that is of interest, and you genuinely have to put your customer first. And I get it. Salespeople primarily are driven by what does their W-2 look like at the end of the year. I get it. You need to subjugate that a little bit and think, what am I doing that's best for my customer? I have had 2 meetings over the last couple of days, and I'm genuinely proud to tell you this. I told the customer, it does not make sense for you to do this with us. Don't do it with us. It would cost way too much, or it's not the best thing that we can do. Or if we do it, we don't even really recommend it based on where you want to get to. And if you do that and you build up this credibility, I call it an undeniable stack of proof, right, of who you are, then your customers realize, oh, wait, I can really trust this person, right? You've got to think about that before, by the way, and I'm guilty of this, back in the day, how much is it going to cost this? Okay, I get 5% commission. I already had that money in my bank account and spent before I pulled out of the parking lot. And that was before they even gave me a purchase order, right? I get it. You're in sales, that's where you want to go. But if you put the customer first, I promise you the money will come. I have a theory, at ABI, actually, our average customer has been with us between 6 and 8 years. I haven't checked exactly where that number's at, but I know it's more than 6, a little less than 8. So when someone new comes on, I'm not thinking of that number times 1 year. I'm thinking of we're going to have a 6, 7, 8 year relationship. And as a salesperson who's new, who's getting into sales, you're going to have 1 or 2 opportunities a year to really fleece someone on pricing if you want to. You will. You're not going to have a lot. You're going to have 1 or 2, and you can do it, and they'll pay it. And when they find out that you did that, that relationship's gone.